So I thought I would go ahead and do one more video, even though I told you I was done. And it's going to be kind of a quick overview. I started thinking there's a lot of people who don't have a lot of time on their hands, but maybe they want to try the website out without watching every single one of the 15 tutorials I included. So they could kind of just skip to this video, watch this one, install it, play around with it all they wanted, quickly and easily without having too many problems. All this information is included in the documentation that I have on the main website in the top left or in the top right corner. I have this broken into three parts. I have part one, which is downloading and installing it. I have connecting to the database, also in part one. I also have a quick a little introduction into how to operate the ssVlog in case anything is kind of confusing in there. And then the last part is for anyone who wants to go around and fiddle with it. They maybe want to change the way it looks or add some functionality to it or whatever. I have the entire file structure listed. That's near the last page. You'll see the important ones I've listed here. I put important out to the side if you're going to have to change something to get it to work on either your local host or your remote server. And I've also kind of shown what the CSSs are for because there are a few CSS files and you'll need those to change the way the site looks, but I wanted to make sure everyone would know exactly what they're changing and where everything's being stored. So there's kind of a quick overview of the entire file structure of the site, which might look a bit overwhelming at first glance, but there's really not that much stuff going on if you really get into it. Again, at the bottom, these are the important resources. I wanted to remind everyone that you can go to LearnNerd.com. You can click this link right here if you want to leave me any comments or get a hold of me, even if you just want to stop by and say, hey, I'll be monitoring that closely, so I'll be getting back to you as fast as I can if I get any posts on there. You can also contact me if you want to contact me through email. You can go to scottseamans.com and there's a contact form at the bottom. It sends me a message in my email and I'll be sure to respond to any posts through that. Finally, I have the full site source code listed here and obviously the source code to the documentation if you wanted to download it on your computer instead of just viewing it through the browser. So I thought I would go ahead and show you real fast how to install this thing. So the site's finished. I have all the bonus tutorials up for the jQuery slider along with the 15 or so videos for, even though it says 13, there's a couple extra included in it that aren't actually lessons, but I have the 15 or so videos for creating the content management system for the vlog. So if you're interested in any of those, please be sure to check them out. I've tried to highlight them appropriately, so if you're only interested in certain aspects, like the maybe you're just interested in some of the legal aspects, or maybe you just want to know some jQuery, you can skip to those videos. So first thing you'll need to do is download the site. Just click the link in the top right, and it should download just like this. And we can actually just drag this into your server. So if you're installing this locally, you'll need to have either MAMP or WAMP installed, which is described in video 2. If you want to install it on a local or on a remote server, I go a little bit more into that on the last video. So, or video, I think it's lesson number 13. Go ahead and open the start page here. So it's up to you. Mainly in this video, I'll just show you how to install it on your local host. It's pretty quick and easy. So go ahead and find that zip file that was just downloaded and open it up. I already have a file called ssVlog on mine, so it renamed it 2 automatically, but yours will be just called ssVlog. And I'm going to rename it ssVlog Demo. You can name yours anything you want in the whole world. I'll go ahead and expand those folders so we can see what's going on. So go ahead and come to your start page for your local host and come to the PHP My Admin tab, and let's create a new database. Click the Create button. If you get the green box, everything is good to go. Now, one little thing that I included that I don't really talk about in the final full site was the database creation SQL. So I've written an SQL file and included it in a little package here so that you don't have to manually type everything out like I show you in the videos. So come to, I'm sorry, I didn't even show you. Click on the Import tab, click the Choose File, choose ssvlog.sql, and click Open. Finally click Go. Once again, if you get the green check mark and green box, everything's created successfully. On the left-hand side, you'll see the tables that were created. You should have an admin table, a blog table, and a users table. Now, for the most part, these are empty. They're not entirely empty, but they only contain things that you have to have. So that means we don't have any users set up, so you won't be able to log into the system. So we need to create a user. So click on the users table and then come over to the insert tab, and you'll see we can create a user right here. You can leave the ID blank. It will be automatically created for you. For the username, choose whatever name you like. And now for the password, I described in the login video, the login lesson, that it only accepts encrypted passwords, so we'll need to create an encrypted password first. You can create a new tab in your browser and type in MD5. And you'll see one of the top ones is, it's always 1 or number 2, and it's MD5 hash generator. Click that. Go ahead and type in whatever password you're wanting. I'll just be using password for this lesson. Click the MD5 button, and it will create the encrypted hash for you. Copy it and paste it into the password field. When you're done, click go. It's important to note also, if you decide later you want to create more usernames, if you have a buddy who wants to try it out, you can create as many names as you want and let anyone you want onto the site. So you can have, like I said, as many users as you want. So now that we've created that, the back end side is ready to go. So we can actually close this. And after we finish the backend side, you'll want to find that ssVlog.sql file within your main documents here, and you'll want to either drag it somewhere else or you'll want to delete it. And I think I put that in test. I don't know why. I'm not sure where I put that. Well, let's undo that and I'll move it to trash. Okay, we don't need that anymore. And I do want to remind you that this site will be up for some time. It's not going to be coming down anytime soon. So if you decide somewhere along the line, like, oh, I deleted that and I wanted to try it out again, you can still go to that same site and download it. And I might even be updating it and adding some more features. I've already seen several things that are pretty basic that I left out that I really wish I would have added. So maybe in the next few months, when I get some time on my hands, I might add all kinds of little features to it. So maybe you'll get an even newer version. Okay, so the back end side's ready to go, but now we have to connect the site to the database, basically. So you'll want to navigate to the connections folder, click on dbcon.php, and open it with any text editor you're comfortable with. And the way this is set up is we have the local host, which will stay localhost, and then we have the database that we created, and we'll want to change that to whatever you named your database, and then your username and password. Typically for local servers, root is going to be your username and your password. If you want to install this on a remote server, you'll want to change this to the username and password that your host has provided you. One other important thing to note, if you are installing this on a remote database, or a remote server, I'm sorry, you'll want to have your username underscore ssVlog, and this isn't the username that we just created. This would be the username that your host provided you as well. That's just a way that hosts identify users with particular databases. After you've done that, click Save, close the file. You'll want to expand the login folder next, and underneath the classes folder, you're looking for a file called mysql.php, and you'll do the exact same thing. Open it with a text editor. Now it's formatted a little differently, but it's essentially the same thing. This is just the handwritten version. Localhost will stay the same. Next, instead of the database, we have the username, followed by the password, and then finally we have the database. So we need to change the database for sure. And then you'll need to remember to change your username and password if they are different from root. And once again, it applies where you want the host username underscore database if you want to do a remote site. Save it, close it, and now let's see if it works. Just go to localhost /ssVlog demo. Okay, and there we go. If we hadn't done all those setup things, you wouldn't get this page. You'd probably get a nasty error. So it's important that you do that pre-setup before coming here. You can try it if you want, but I promise you'll get an error. So one thing I hadn't done that I want to add is you can see there's nothing in this post, but by default it creates one post, and I should have written some code that says, if 0 post return, then display a message, there are no posts. So see, like little things like that I wish I would have done that I just didn't take into account, but that's okay. I can do that in the future. So let's go ahead and make sure our logins are working. And it looks like it's working okay. And then we can just name this Scott's site just to make sure it's working. And then I included 2 logo images. I have a logo new, which is the one currently in use, and then one called logo. One important thing to note about logos is they can be pretty much anything that you want, preferably a PNG file so that if there's any transparency that needs to be preserved, it will preserve it. And 640 pixels is probably about the maximum width. You can do just about any height that you're wanting, so keep that in mind. Let's click Update and just make sure it worked. Let's open this in a new tab. And you can see it now says Scott's site, and then here's the other logo that I provided. It's not as nice looking, but I just wanted to show you how easy it is to change your logo if you wanted to. Now let's go ahead and create a post. Add post, Scott. We'll do this as my first post. Not going to worry about capitalization. Thanks so much for, there we go, following me this far. And some dummy text. I'll show you how to use the YouTube video. Just YouTube education. That one's great. Share. Embed. Now you'll see you have several different options here. You can even do custom widths and heights, but I've designed this site to specifically take images or videos that are 640 pixels wide or less. You can do less if you would rather do less. So go ahead and copy that. Make sure you've selected the appropriate one. Copy it and paste it into your video spot. Another thing to remember, if you would rather do like an image, if you have an image that's 640 pixels or less, you could even do like image source equals link to my image, whatever your link would be, and then basically that's it. And then it would display an image there instead of a video. You could get rid of that. So if you would rather do video or image posts there, you can do that as well. It will accept any kind of media content. And then for the source, we'll just do a # because we don't really have anything to download. And if any of you are really interested in maybe using this, I don't know that I'd really recommend it for a full-on site, as it's not, there's lots of other really awesome options out there, like WordPress or Drupal or any of those, or Tumblr. But if you wanted to hide the source button, if you never have anything to download, I can show you how to do that. It's extremely easy to just hide the button and it won't appear. But I didn't include it in the information. Add post. Let's make sure it's working. And sure enough, it looks like it works just fine. Show and hide. And there it is. We're good to go. So basically, that's that. Let's see if we can edit the post. Now, everything pulls in. I'm going to change this to John. Everything's editing correctly, and last but not least, we can delete. There we go. And when we come back to the site, it's gone. So everything's working great. Just the last note again, remember to go to LearnNerd if you want to get a hold of me. You can go to scottseamans.com, and at the very bottom there's a contact form if you want to email me. I'll also be reachable through the discussion boards, obviously. And I hope you guys enjoy the site. I hope maybe someone will find it useful or maybe get some interesting tidbits out of the video. I had a great time making it. I hope you all have a very awesome summer, and I'm really looking forward to checking out your projects. So I'll be looking forward to that.